What is going on, everybody? As you can tell, this is actually a little bit of a different upload. This is a Friday upload. I had mentioned earlier this week that I was going to be uploading on Sundays, Wednesdays, and on Fridays. And so what I'm going to be doing on Fridays is I'm going to be converting Fridays and dedicating it to being sofa session day. Just sofa sessions on Friday, and then the Sunday vlogs are going to hopefully be a little bit quicker, not as much me talking, more action, more stuff, and then the Fridays will actually be the sofa sessions. So without further ado, let's jump into this week's sofa session. All right, so what I want to talk about this week, hopefully is not too controversial. I hope I don't get backlash on this video about how I'm completely, absolutely wrong about my thoughts on this. But I want to talk about why I don't think that millennials are the worst generation. Millennials, we have been raised, we were born into a very difficult time, a very difficult generation. We did come of age during a time of the recession. So our thought process, the way that we filter information, the way that we see things is really tainted or through the lens of having seen our parents go through this economic hardship. I personally saw a little bit of that. I know I have friends who saw some of that. And so the way that we view things is a little bit different than some of the older generations because we've seen some of that economic hardship. Now, does that mean that we, for some reason, have a right to be entitled or have a right to be whiny or have a right to do all these different things? No, it does not give us a right to do those things. I don't think, and I hang out with a whole bunch of millennials. I can't think of very, very many millennials that I know, that I hang around with, and I'm just talking from my personal experience, who are whiny, who are entitled, who are, just all these typical sort of millennial type things. Now, do we want to have time so that we can pursue our artistic or creative endeavors? Yes. But does that mean that we don't work hard? Every single millennial that I know personally works really, really hard. Do we want to have the artistic freedom and all these different things? Yes. Do we want to pursue these creative endeavors? Yes. But we also want to work hard to do that. And the other part of that is I hear a lot of people complaining how, young people are constantly on their devices. Yeah, we are. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Does it remove us from being connected one-on-one? But that doesn't mean that we don't have human interaction, one-on-one connection that we enjoy. We do enjoy that. And I think the people that I surround myself with and that I hang around with, and most people in my generation enjoy that type of connection. With that said, I know a lot of people my parents' age and that generation who are on Facebook a lot more than I am, who are on Instagram a lot more than I am. And so I've been in places where older generation people have their phones out and are on their phones and doing all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's just millennials. And to say that it's just millennials, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. Now, what I will say is that our generation, the reason why I think our generation is so great is because of the technology, is because at our fingertips, we have so much information through Google, through our devices, through all these different things. And I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. We're living through an incredible time where the internet really has leveled the playing field as far as media is concerned. Now, what does this mean for my generation and why I think it's so great is that we're using those devices to be able to change our world and our economy. And our generation really is poised to be able to use this technology and our savvy of how social media works to be able to connect brands with people, with their consumers, to connect people with people, to connect businesses with businesses. And so from a business standpoint, we have just one of the greatest opportunities. And I see my generation, I see the millennials being able to use that to our advantage. I think that that's what makes my generation so wonderful, is that we understand that. And so now I want to kind of switch over to just talking to my fellow millennials, my fellow young generation people. My encouragement to you is work hard. If you are the kind of person who likes to sit back and just hang out, watch Netflix, and watch Hulu and not spend time working, work hard, because there's a lot of people that are watching you and waiting for you to fail. And so as young people, we have to remember that we need to work harder than the generation before us in order to prove that we can make this. Because the internet has leveled the playing field, there's so many people who are competing for attention, who are competing for industry, and so you have to set yourself apart. You have to work that much harder in order to be successful. There is no reason why you can't achieve your dreams. There's no reason why, with the use of technology, you can't make something happen. Find your message, find your voice, and then use the platforms that you have at your disposal to really open opportunities for yourself. Learn about how to leverage the power of social media so that you can make yourself a linchpin, that you can make yourself indispensable. The education system that we were brought up in was designed to make workers and not to make entrepreneurs, not to make creative people who can solve creative solutions. You were taught to be a worker for somebody's company, for somebody's corporation. My challenge to you, though, is to pave your own lane, to be somebody who thinks outside of the box. Because even if you go work for that corporation, what ends up happening is you become indispensable to that corporation because you have thought outside the box, because you're somebody who is actually bringing ideas rather than just being a worker. So that is kind of my rant today, just sort of the sofa session for this Friday. Millennials are not as bad as everybody makes them seem. After a while, you're like, all right, we get it, ha ha ha. You made a joke about how lazy we are and how entitled we feel and how everybody gets a trophy in our generation and all that kind of stuff. I guess we're just gonna have to prove you wrong. And yeah, I guess that's the end of the sofa session. Go out there, work hard, and remember, never stop creating. Peace.